Hi everyone, this is Joe Frick. I'm going to talk to you today about one of the biggest questions I usually get from clients right off the bat. They want to know how much their case is worth or how much their claim is worth. Now there's a distinction between how much the case is worth for settlement purposes with the insurance company versus how much your case is worth going to trial in front of a jury. There are a lot of similarities, but there's also some vast differences. Also, when you go to trial, you have to take into account the cost and the time that it takes to go through a trial, which typically takes anywhere from a year to 2 years to get to trial from the date that you file your complaint. But for today's purposes, we're just going to be talking about what drives the settlement value, trying to settle with the insurance company prior to filing any lawsuit against the person that hit you or the person that caused your injuries. Now, there are some big factors that come into play when you're talking about settlement value with the insurance company. Two of the biggest factors are, one, how soon after the crash did you go see a doctor? A medical doctor, a chiropractor, or a physical therapist. What is the time frame from the time of the crash to the time that you actually went to go see some sort of healthcare professional? Now, it's always advisable to go, if you think you have any injuries, go see a primary care physician, an ER, or a quick care directly after the crash to get checked out. Now, like I said, the time between the crash and the time that you go see your ER, quick care, primary care physician is going to be a big factor. And the longer you wait, the more it kind of chisels away at the value, and it also chisels away at proving causation, because you have to have something. There's got to be a time frame there, because if you wait too long, the argument is that the injuries that you went to go see the doctor about aren't actually related to the car crash at all. Otherwise, you would have went and seen the doctor or the ER, the quick care, right after the crash. So if you think you have any injuries, go see a doctor, get your injuries documented and checked out. The second big factor is what is actually in the medical records, because if it's not in the medical records, if you're the insurance company, it's like it never happened. So you can tell them that you were injured, your neck hurt, your back hurt, you had headaches, you hurt to walk, you could sit for so long. You can tell the insurance company that all you want, but if it's not actually documented in the medical records from your visits with your ER, quick care, primary care physician, chiropractor, physical therapist, if those aren't documented in those medical records, you're not going to get any value from the insurance company for settlement purposes. So the biggest factor in there is what your medical records actually show. So you're going to need to tell your primary care physician or whoever's treating you for your injuries each and every symptom in complaint, so that they can properly diagnose you and refer you out to specialists such as chiropractors, physical therapists, surgeons, or whatever that is pertinent to your specific case. So other factors that come into play also would include, did you actually follow the treatment plan that your healthcare provider has, put out? Sometimes I have clients that come in and they were referred to a physical therapist, but they don't go to him for a while, 6 months to a year out. Then they come back and say they're still injured and they still need the physical therapist treatment. So there's two issues that come up there. One, they didn't follow the treatment plan, and two, there's a gap in treatment. So which kind of segues into another factor. If you have huge gaps in treatment for injuries related to your car crash, that's also going to devalue your claim. So always follow your treatment provider's plan of care, so there's no gaps in treatment. You're consistently getting care for the injuries that you sustained as a result of the car crash. Another factor that comes into play is the severity of the damage to the vehicles that were actually involved in the collision. Goes back to their arguments about, if the cars weren't actually damaged that bad, then you couldn't have been injured either. And that's really not the case. There's numerous cases of deaths with car crashes under 10 miles an hour. But for settlement purposes with the insurance company, if there's not that much damage to the vehicles, they're probably not going to place a very high value on that claim. So there's nothing you could do about that, but that is something that they take into account. So for today's points, the key points are what is for what your claim is worth. How soon did you go see the ER, quick care, primary care physician? How long did it take, or what kind of time frame are we looking at from the time of the crash to the time you went to see a healthcare provider? 2, what's actually in the medical records? What did the doctor diagnose you with? What symptoms and complaints that are noted in the records? Did you follow the treatment plan? Are there any gaps in care? And